This is another archival upload of my previous mix critique videos. Again, I apologize for the vertical format that this video is about to switch to. This is 126 through 130. This track was sent in by Tom. Your bass synth in the intro was clipping. The guitars are way too loud, and I'm assuming they're gonna be that way for the rest of the song, which means you're probably a guitarist if you mix this. Drums are definitely too quiet. We'll see where it goes from here. You push the master too far too, like everything's clipping, especially the synths are clipping really badly. You got a lot of mud in both the bass and the guitar. The drums, like the shells need to come up a lot and the cymbals need to go down a lot. There's way too much cymbals. Also, your lead guitar is very out of tune. Tune your guitar. Make that all the guitars. The rhythm guitar's out of tune too. Ooh, come on, man.
That's keeping this body warm.
Singer's not great. Probably benefit from a little bit of tuning. Definitely needs a lot more compression on the vocals. Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I'm not finishing this. Drum shells are too quiet. Cymbals are way too loud. A lot of mud in pretty much everything. Tune your guitars, please. Like, it's not hard to check a tuner between takes. And vocals definitely need some tuning, but mostly you just need to compress the living hell out of them. Like, I am regularly hitting like 20 dB of compression on vocals. Don't be shy when compressing vocals. Like, these vocals really need to be compressed a lot. This song was sent in by Max. Couple things right off the bat. The guitar is way too loud, especially compared to the drums. Like, we can't hear the drums at all except for the hi-hat. The overall volume of the track is pretty low, but let's focus on the balance between the instruments first. It also sounds like you have the guitar pretty much just on the left side, and then you have a synth on the opposite side. It's a really weird choice. But yeah, mostly the kick has no high-end attack. It's only like sub-frequencies, and the snare is not cutting through at all, and the hi-hats are cutting through way too much. When the vocals come in, like, it sounds like the singer has a really good voice, but you can barely hear it, really. All right, so Max, that was a really cool song from a songwriting point of view. Like, it was honestly really catchy, but there's a lot of problems in the mix here. The biggest thing, there's weird panning issues. You definitely need to double that guitar and have it balanced on both sides. You need to spend a lot more time balancing the faders, make sure everything sits right against each other. And honestly, it sounds like you have zero processing on anything. It sounds like you didn't EQ or compress anything at all. And I don't know if that's just because you don't know how to use those tools yet or what. It sounds like all you did was faders and panning, which is fine. Like, that's a good place to start, but you still have some work to do on that, like especially your levels and honestly just arrangement in general. Like, certain things should be stereo pairs. Things like that is what you have to work on first before you get into any processing. Song was sent in by Salvia. Okay, guitars are really harsh and very out of tune. They're also too loud compared to everything else. Let's see where it goes. Okay, dude, I really hope that was a joke, because what the fuck was that? This track was sent in by Deem. Okay, that was like predominantly one instrument in the intro there, and already it's like clipping the master. So I have a feeling that when the rest of this kicks in, it's going to be very distorted because you're just completely overpowering the master. Yep. Honestly, the mix doesn't sound that bad, but the master is clipping so hard. Also, the vocals are really, really harsh. Like, you pushed the 2.5 to 5-ish K range way too much. Alright, the rapper sounds really nasally. There's some really annoying frequencies in there that have to be taken out. I would also probably give the rapper a little bit more of a low end bump in the vocals. It sounds like you're running both the rapper and the female vocalist through the exact same EQ, and honestly, it's not working for either of them. Okay, so honestly, from what I could hear, the mix sounded pretty good overall. The biggest thing is you're clipping the master. You need to back off the mastering limiter by 5 dB. It's way over the top. It's ruining everything. It's giving everything this awful digital distortion, and it's ruining what otherwise would probably be a pretty good mix. The other thing is the vocals. You need to work on your vocal EQ. Again, it sounds like you're using the exact same EQ on both vocalists, but it's not working for either of them. The vocals sound really thinned out. It sounds like you cut too much out of the mid-range, and they also sound really harsh, so it sounds like you boosted too much of those painful frequencies in the upper mids. Yeah, those are the main points. Work on your vocal EQ a lot, and back off the master a lot. Sorry if I mispronounced this. This one was sent in by Christ.
I want her tails.
Okay, the guitar and the bass in the intro actually sound really good. The problem is the intro vocals. I can hear the room sound behind the vocals in the worst way. You just recorded them in a really untreated room, and that's a serious problem. Okay, we're getting to the point where the intro is too long. In this kind of a genre, I get it, you're setting up the story. You need to add something in there, some kind of a build, something to differentiate it, because you're just basically repeating the exact same guitar and bass riff, and the only thing that's changing is the words that you're saying over the top. There needs to be something to make this evolve.
And what mountains I have best.
Okay, see, at the very end there, you switch it up and added some harmonies on the guitar. That was good, but something like that has to happen way earlier. Has your drummer heard of a metronome? All right, the snare actually sounds pretty good. It might be a sample, but it sounds good. The kick sounds really boxy. There's a gross mid-range build-up in the kick that you gotta take out. Now that we're into it more, the guitars are way too loud compared to everything else. The drums should be at least cutting through over the top a little bit, and the vocals need to be way more up front, and I would also like the vocals in this part to have a little bit more of a space. They sound really dry, and it's not lending to the size that you're trying to achieve with everything else.